right? 17. She turned 17 this past week. Kai has been here to see you before. She's 9 on Christmas Eve. She will be 9. Christmas baby, yeah. So we should sing happy birthday to Kaya too, right? All right, and Chenna just turned 18 last month. I've known her since she was 5. Juliana is now 13, 12, almost 13, right? Okay, and she's been here with you once before, I think. Maybe twice? Twice? 3 times. I lose track of how long I have, and this is my other baby. You know Riley, she's here all the time too. She's 8.5. Whoops.
How are you?
45 and proud of it. I'm going to give my mom my video camera so she can video the kids on this one. All right. So what you're about to see is 8 children between the ages of 8 and 18 singing in 7-part harmony. 7 parts by the time we get to the end of this song. There are 8 of you. Camry did get here. When we first started this morning, we thought we were going to be 7 kids in 7-part harmony, but Camry did arrive. We are missing 2 singers this morning, though. 2 of our sopranos are out. One has to study for midterms, and one is sick, unfortunately. All right, here we go. Ready? They're waiting to see if I start with the right part of the song.
Merry Christmas, 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 Merry Christmas,
So at this point, some of our young people and their families need to scoot out to their own church services at their usual congregations. If that's the case for you, please feel free to go now. Or to Sunday school, if you'd like to be released to Sunday school. Our Sunday school rooms are back that way. All right. And we'll turn the service over to Reverend Beth. Yes, if you have my hats, guys, leave them with me.
oh shoot, I almost did it and you just said it. Yeah, I just took it. Right behind you.
How about the leader of all the singers?
So Jenna told me that she was going to go practice in Orlando now with another choir. I mean, these are busy kids, busy kids. And she said they were practicing that they're going to sing at some bowl game, and they were going to be on national television.
Wow.
So, isn't that exciting? They were just wonderful. There was a Sunday school teacher who was talking to her children in Sunday school. She was asking them what they remembered about Christmas, and she asked them, do you remember who came to see Jesus when he was born? Who came to visit the manger? And Johnny held up his hand. Johnny's 5 years old. And teacher said, Johnny, tell me. And he said, the 3 maggots. And before she could say anything, he said, and they brought gold, frankincense, and Smurfs. You know, our Christmas story in our mind is sort of like that. We have it all. We have all the different stories, and we have them all squished together, and we all have this little Christmas story that we've made up in our mind, and that we celebrate every year. And I love this Sunday because this, in the church calendar, this is Advent. Advent is a time where we prepare for Christmas. Just like Lent is a time to prepare for Easter, Advent is the time for us to open our hearts and open our minds and prepare to have a Christmas experience inside. It's about the inside thing that happens. And if you are here today, I know that you're here by divine appointment, because you're here to hear the central message of Jesus, and that is that God loves you. There is no place you can go, there is nothing that you can do that would separate you from God's love. You are loved. You are absolutely, unconditionally loved. How does that feel? I am loved. Can you think about that? Just, I am loved. God loves me. Why don't y'all just say that? God loves me. Together, God loves me. Yeah, you and me and every one of us. And if you didn't remember anything else about this morning, if you knew not one thing else that I said, if you walked out of here with the remembrance that God loves me, and that's what this Christmas season is about, then you would have what you needed. When we had our Thanksgiving Eve service, we asked people to say what they were thankful for, and Leanne got up and she talked about how she was thankful for her children and thankful for people in this congregation that prayed for her and prayed that those children would come to her. And it was a blessed thing. It was a blessed thing for us. It was a joyful thing for us when Danny came to, and I remember the first time she brought Danny to church. Don't you know that that's how the whole world felt? Blessed by this new baby. Every time you see a new baby, don't you feel blessed? Don't you feel that love? Because isn't that what a baby is? Just the opportunity, the possibility of unconditional love. You know, I just love them while they're little blobs. You know, before they learn how to say no, there is such potential and such love there. And when we hear stories about people who can't keep their children, and we think about those babies, and all of us have that twinge inside where we'd want to take that baby and love it, because that's what the nurturing part of us, that part of us, of that God part of us, that strength of us is love. And we all feel it. We all feel it in some way at some time. And what we're talking about today is only important if your heart opens to greater love. It's not that you hear the best music, because we did hear the best music. It's not that we came to be seen. It's a day it's that we know that we're love, that we are love, that we're loving. In Jeremiah it says, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore I have continued my faithfulness to you. God has promised you everlasting love. Ooh, that word, everlasting. I know that there are times that I have tried to outlast that love. I'm sure that I have walked on the edge of that love. But if we know that God loves us, everything else falls away. Everything else is just unimportant. The whole message of Christmas is about love. We say it's hope and peace and joy and love, but I believe that love is the most important thing. And I know that people get caught up in Christmas. Yesterday, Melanie, my granddaughter, and I went out to Vieira. And if you were the person that I pulled out in front of trying to get back out in traffic, I'm sorry. Thank you for not hitting me. There were people there shopping. Oh, were they shopping? The stores were full. I mean, we went into World Market, and you could hardly walk in there. And then we went into Bed Bath and Beyond. I've never seen, they were fully staffed. There was someone at every 2 rows asking if they could help you, trying to assist you to find what you need so you could get in and get out, so more people could get in. So I want to tell you about a story about a man who was looking for the perfect Christmas gift for his wife. Now, his wife had a business and she worked in her home office, and he thought and thought and thought about what could he get his wife. And he thought, so he said, she's there by herself and working all day, and maybe if I got her a bird that could sing and could talk, that would provide her with someone to be with her during the day. And so he went to the pet store and he told the clerk, he said, I want a bird that will talk and to sing. And the pet store owner took him and said, this is the bird you want. And the man said, well, this bird say, Polly, want a cracker? And the bird said, well, no, the bird will learn to talk with you about what you say to the bird. And so the man thought, this is the perfect gift for my wife. So he got the bird in the cage and he took it home. And the next day he returned. And he said, this bird does not talk and it doesn't sing. And the store manager said, well, that's unusual. Does he peck his little bell and then sing? And the man says, bell? I don't have a bell. And the bell's $6.95. Don't you get up with a bell every morning? Don't the alarm wake you up? The bird will peck his bell and then he'll sing. And so the man buys the bell. And does the bird sing? So the next day he goes back to the store and he said, this bird doesn't talk or doesn't sing. And the man said, well, doesn't he climb his little ladder and sing? And the man said, no, he doesn't have a ladder. I didn't sell you a ladder. It's only $9.95. Well, give me the ladder. And I'm sure that there was another word in there. And he took the ladder home and he put it in there, and sure enough, the bird, hopped and climbed up the ladder. But the bird did not sing and he did not talk. So the next day he goes back and he says, oh my gosh. And the manager said, well, he's got the bell to make him wake up in the morning. He's got the ladder to give him exercise. Well, is he looking in his mirror? And have a mirror? $9.95. And the man has a little hope. He takes it home and he puts it in there. The next day, the bird still doesn't sing. He doesn't talk. Well, the manager asked him when he pecks his bell and he walks up his ladder and he looks in the mirror, he doesn't sing or talk. No. Well, when he gets on his swing, does he talk? He doesn't talk when he gets on his swing. I don't have a swing. So he buys a swing. $9.95. This bird has really become an investment. And on the 5th day, he walks into the pet store with a dead bird in his hand. "What happened?" said the store manager. And the man says, "He's dead. That's what happened." And the store manager said, "I hate to ask then, but did he ever sing or talk?" And the man said, "He never did sing, but he did talk. When I put the swing in his cage, he looked at me rather strangely, and he pecked on his bell, and he hobbled on his ladder. He climbed it really good. And he looked in the mirror, and then he hopped on his swing, and he began swinging ever so gently. And just before he toppled over and died, he asked, 'Didn't they sell any bird seed?'" Sometimes we spend a lot of money buying little gifts, but we forget to give the one thing that people need more than anything else. The need is for love and attention. Love is the gift that everybody needs. It's the food for our soul. And so when you came in here this morning and we stood and we greeted our neighbors and someone hugged you, think about how good that felt. When somebody smiled at you and they were glad to see you and they greeted you, how did that feel? Didn't that feel good? That's what we need. And so maybe you wonder, what is my purpose in life? And I've had people say, "Beth, I have had a great career and I've been retired and I'm sort of lost and aimless. I'm not quite sure what my purpose is." And what I want to tell you is your purpose is here to love somebody. Your purpose is to love somebody. Your purpose is to be love, to be God in action, to express God out into the world. You're here to let your love shine so much and be so big that people say, "Oh, there's somebody that's really living. That person's an example, a shining example. That person touches my life." It doesn't do any good for me to come out here and go to talk to you individually and try to convert you to Unity's way of thinking. If you have some other religious or spiritual belief system, it's not my job to try to convert you to my way of thinking. It's my job to love so much and to love you so much and for you to love each other so much that people know. And people walk in here and they say it feels good in here. And the reason it feels good in here is because we have this energy of love, this openness, this acceptance, this smile for everybody. That's what makes that energy feel so good. That's what makes it electric. And when I look around the walls and I think about this, I think about all the people that were here the days that we painted this room. Some of you don't know they had interesting colors on the walls. When you walk down the halls and you see all the work that's being done on the rest of the building. I mean, yesterday, Marion painted the room that on the plans say it's a chapel. And when I left here, Vashti was painting all by herself. I don't know if anybody ever came to, did Jenny come help you?
No, but Beth did.
So it's people are working in here all the time. You know, we have volunteers. We have a volunteer that makes that bulletin for you. We have a volunteer that sells you the Daily Word in the hospitality area. We have a volunteer that made coffee for you this morning. Somehow or other, you're going to be touched today. You've already been touched today by somebody who's doing something out of love. Christmas gives us lots of opportunities to give love. How many of us will have opportunities with families this year to have love and to express love? How many? How many of us will have opportunities to be with family who might not think like we do? You know, when you're out shopping and the line is really long and somebody cuts in front of you, or when you're shopping for that perfect gift and there's only one and somebody takes it off the shelf just before you, when your sister-in-law or your brother-in-law starts talking their politics, when your aunt or your cousin starts telling you, asking you if have you been saved, when you see things on television that you don't like, there is the time to practice love. And Jesus said in John 13:35, "By this everyone will know you are my disciple, if you have love for one another." And so I'm going to suggest that when that stuff happens, that instead of engaging, and I'm really saying this for me, this is the lesson that I need to hear, that before I engage with one of my grandchildren, that I stop and think about how much I love them. And if it's with someone that I really don't know and could, have no experience with, that I can stop and think, open your heart, Beth, breathe, think about love, be like Jesus Christ, extend your love. No matter what's going on, find a way to extend your love. If you forget everything you've ever read, if you forget the 10 Commandments, but you remember love, you will have remembered what you need to remember. Religion is not where you just come to church and have to give 10%. Religion is a way of life. It's a system for you to live your life. And here at Unity, we teach you that to live that way of life, you have this Christ that lives within you. And that's what Advent is about, is preparing our hearts and our minds to let that Christ be alive, to burst forth as love. It's where you can feel good about everyone, no matter what. It's where everything outside, the Christmas trees, the lighting of the candles, and all of the magic of the season doesn't just happen out there, that it happens in here, where the magic happens in here as you express God's love, as you feel God's love. That's when you discover Christmas. That's when you know the magic of Christmas. That's when you can really believe, is when you feel that love. And so my Christmas wish for you is for you to find love, because wherever you find love, you find God. Wherever you find God, you find love. They're two so interchangeable. You can give a gift without giving love. But you can't love without giving. Might not be in gifts, but you can't love without giving. And so I hope you open your heart today to give love over and over and over again. And as you walk down the halls and you see the paint on the halls, think about somebody giving to you. Somebody was here painting for you because they wanted you to have a place to come. They wanted your children to have Sunday schools. Somebody has been here preparing the way, and all you have to do is open your heart, and so it is.